Competitive video games face many problems in order to create a fair space to compete in. One of the most notable problems that every game struggles with is boosting. Why is that and how can it be fixed? Let's take a look at the boosting problem. Boosting in video games refers to the practice of artificially enhancing a player's rating. It can occur in two main ways. You either let a more skilled player play ranked matches on your account, leading to them carrying and winning games you couldn't, or you play in a group with more skilled players who are on their Smurf accounts. I touched on the smurfing problem in the video already. It should pop out just about now in the top right corner if you would like to watch that. This way, your competitive rating increases through unfair practices, but your actual skill doesn't, leading you to D-rank after playing on your own. Most of these boosting services are paid, making you pay them repeatedly every time you want to get back to the higher rank. And this obviously undermines the integrity of competitive gameplay. That's why boosting is obviously bannable in pretty much every game, and it's heavily frowned upon, even being a criminal offense in South Korea. Another part of the problem is account selling. It's not that difficult to create a new account on a free-to-play game and get it to a high rank, obviously depending on the game. This account can be easily sold on many websites. Of course, account sharing is a bannable offense in pretty much every game. You might be asking, but why is boosting such a bad thing? Can't we just let people who want to inflate their rank for rewards and whatever reasons to do it? I will have to disagree on that. Boosting affects more than just the player who is getting boosted. While getting boosted, you also give free rating to your teammates who might not deserve that win and take away the rating from the enemy team who might deserve the rank up. During those games, you will also influence people's enjoyment of the game, and when players are not enjoying the game, they quit. That's how games die. How much will your rank be worth then? Quickly before we get into the details, this is a great video about boosting in League of Legends. I don't play League that much, so this is a much more informed perspective than I can give you. So if you're interested in League, go watch that video. Now let me show you some examples from my experience. Boosting in Overwatch is a huge problem. Now this could just be my personal experience, but it always seemed to me that there are way more boosted players in Overwatch. From what I have seen when I was watching my friends play, there was usually a booster and or a smurf every other game in the lower ranks, getting a bit more stable around high gold and platinum, and again reappearing in diamond. I don't have any statistics to back it up, this is just what I have seen people go through. However, around diamond and continuing to masters and GM, a lot of boosted players start appearing. Now, my theory behind this is that Overwatch, as a colorful FPS game that doesn't always require the most precise mechanics, invites more people who think they belong in a higher rank and thus get boosted. Blizzard has done a lot to combat the boosting problem at the cost of player experience. An example being limiting the group size at Grandmaster level and limiting the skill rating range in a group that you can queue with. This has been helpful, but practices like min-maxing, that is a high-level player on their main account in top 500, queuing with another high-level player on his old account in GM5 or GM4, making the games much easier. Also, with the way Overwatch handles smurfs, it is not that difficult to create a new account and get to Grandmaster within a couple of games. This does help a lot with the smurf accounts, but it also makes account selling a whole lot easier. Valorant is unique because it allows massive rank differences in a group. So technically, you, as a diamond player, could queue up with your bronze friend. This makes sense for more casual players who want to play with their friends, but it obviously doesn't work too well for the competitive ladder. There are players who stag with their friends who are on their much lower rated smurf accounts and get easier wins. This makes boosting to high ranks in Valorant much easier than, let's say, in Overwatch. So why is this even in the game? Casual players could just play with their friends in unrated. What is the point of forcing ranked? Overall, this mechanic has very little use in actual practice, other than to maybe help the boosters. Valorant also has a boosting problem because of its very prominent e-dating scene, which I will still touch upon in my next video. This practice is extremely widespread, appearing even in games you wouldn't necessarily expect. Teamfight Tactics, Dota 2 and Counter-Strike's Face It have their own boosting community, which is understandable because players of these games care a lot about their rank. But what about games like World of Tanks or FIFA? Even these games struggle with this problem, and it affects every new competitive game release. The first boosting sites appeared already with World of Warcraft, becoming more popular with the release of League of Legends. So it is not a new problem, but a very hard one to combat. So, the question is, how can we prevent boosting? Well, just like I said in my smurfing problem video, it's pretty much impossible to solve these issues completely, even with the most effective fixes. The important thing to realize is that we should not be focused on trying to stop your friend Joe from playing with you and potentially boosting you in the process, but we should do what we can to stop these organized groups and websites that profit from frustrated players and ruin the competitive environment. And how do we do that? Well, there are a couple of options, but it is up to the game developers to act. Changing IP matching with better performance in game, playing different characters or guns, and other factors are definitely signs of a smurf or a booster. It's just difficult to prove 100%. Boosting is also very widespread, so banning people could get tricky if not handled properly. And even with all that, in the end, it's the client getting banned, not the booster. Personally, I would like to see some action against the websites and Discord servers that promote and organize boosting from the developers. But there is something that we all can do. Getting boosted is already looked down upon, which is a great start, but we should hold the boosters accountable as well. It's morally wrong, and borderline a crime, depending on the country you live in. Moreover, fostering a sense of community self-regulation and peer accountability can improve the efficiency of anti-boosting measures, as players become invested in preserving the integrity of their gaming spaces. After all, how much will your inflated rank be worth if the game you're playing dies as a result of your actions? I would like to thank everyone for all the support you have given me these past weeks. It has been amazing, and I will see you again very soon.